Where are you right now? You're in England, right?
No, I'm in Illinois.
You're in Illinois, but
Yes.
you have an English accent.
But I have an English accent, yes.
Where in England are you from?
I don't sound like where I'm originally from either.
That's all right, though. No,
I'm
curious.
originally from Middlesbrough, which
Okay.
is a Teesside accent. I don't really
Cool.
have an accent because
All right.
all over.
You're in Illinois. We're neighbors. I'm in Minnesota.
You're in Minnesota, yes.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
you're just what is it? One state over to the
Yeah,
left.
we're up the river. Yeah.
Just trying to. I'm just getting my geography in my head. So we've got Wisconsin immediately above us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Kentucky.
Yeah.
Got Indiana to our right.
Are you in Chicago?
No. I'm just down the road.
Okay.
I'm
Gotcha.
just down the road. Okay, so let's see if the Zoom meeting. Don't think the Zoom. Yeah, it says so. Zoom meeting 40 minutes. So we'll chew the fat between now and then. I don't see the point in just all of a sudden ending this. So maybe Harley, what was it that got you thinking, Kevin? What was the beginnings of that conversation between yourself and Kevin regarding, us getting together for a collab?
I posted on Twitter who wants to be a guest.
was it as simple as that? Was it? I don't.
Yeah, I'm a cheap date.
We haven't really been following each other that long either, so still kind of getting to know each other. Because you started following me right around the time I started selling the wood chipper shirts, right?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
right.
That wasn't long ago.
Yeah, the wood chipper shirt. Amazing. Yeah. I love that shirt.
Oh
yeah.
yes, I do remember that period.
That was only a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was how long ago was that? That was several weeks ago. That wasn't it?
Yeah, not that only like maybe 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Tops. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember. I know the time period. I know the time period you're talking about. I know exactly what time period you're talking about. So
the wood chipper goes burr.
Yes. One of your best sellers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Among other things. So how long have you been doing this, Kevin?
Doing what? Going on podcasts?
Yeah, podcasts. Yeah. No, just podcasting in general. How long? I've
been podcasting for years. Yeah, and
you have a very radio-esque voice.
I know.
You can kind of tell.
It's not an affect either. Do you know? Like it's really like my indoor voice. This is how I sound.
It's very suitable.
Well, it's all right. Anything that's not NPR for me is I want you to have a life. Yeah, I've done podcasts for a long time. I have a show called Get This. It's getthispodcast.com. It's an interview show about things people love, right? So you come on, you bring a topic. So it's kind of this, it's meant to be this antidote to the narcissism of our time, right? All these interview shows tend to be, oh, you have a new book out. Let's talk about you for an hour. Aren't you special? It's more, it's more about like, what are you into? Because that's what I really want to know. Like Samuel Beckett, for example, right? I'm a playwright. I'm a theater person. So like, I would love to hear an interview. We'll never get it, right? But where Samuel Beckett talks about what he was into instead of talking about, waiting for Godot. Let's talk about like what, you were hanging out with James Joyce. What was that like? Let's talk about that for an hour. And so, it's a bit of an angle, and I love doing that show. I just did an episode with my buddy Brad Kelly, who we met in grad school. He's a writer and a very fine writer. And we did an episode about the Davos, what is it?
Economic Forum?
Yeah, the Klaus Schwab. And we just poked around on the website. It's a cult. It's not even a real, it's all make-believe. It's just, they have like 12 jobs. Most of the jobs are in Japan. It's just, yeah. So we did an episode about that, but that's not typically the format for that show. It's usually an interview. But we have a new idea for another podcast. And anyway, yeah, I've done this for a while.
Yeah. So what was that? Was that your first foray into podcasting. Is anything that you do live stream? Do you do live stream at all, or is it just pre-recorded podcasting that you then you put the video up?
We tried streaming once, but I couldn't figure it out. Like it just didn't it didn't work out. So we pre-record.
Yeah. And how long you been doing it? When did you literally first start getting
right.
into it?
So Brad and I used to have a podcast called Righteous Yammer, which we retired. But we probably started that like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? How long have you been at this?
Me personally, I'm relatively new to the podcasting game. I only got into it about oh wow, it's been that long now. For me, it's been 2 to 3 years, between 2 and 3 years. So I'm still relatively late to the game regarding podcasting and stuff like that. And then it's only been this for what episode are we on? This is episode 12.
11 or 12, yeah.
So I've only been doing this type of format.
Well, and so you're a liberty podcast, right? You're talking about freedom.
Yes. I mean, it's just a general, voluntarist, agorist,
whatever,
whatever type thing. Just it's kind of like a mixed, it's a mixed bag basically, morals, ethics, and just whatever random thing
bullshit
and bullshit, yeah.
Which honestly, half the time that those do better. It's the random bullshit where we're just
when we're just winging it. Yeah, when we're winging it. Yeah.
That's what that's what it's about. And if you have chemistry and you enjoy doing it, I mean, then you're in good shape. I mean, that's what it's about. Yeah. I like doing my interview podcast because it's an excuse to chat with people for an hour. And I'm an extrovert. So this year is nobody's mentioned this. This is a very hard year for extroverts. You're the kind of guy who it's rough. I mean, if you're the kind of person who goes down and like has a little group and you're hanging out and you're the life of the party, this is tough. I mean, I'm a wind up toy. Yeah. I mean, if you just wind me up and you put a few drinks in me and you throw me at the end of the bar, like I will make a party over there. We'll, by the end of the night, we'll do, it's all gone. And, nobody's talking about this. So you're a Liberty podcast. What do you think about the current state of like the tyranny that we're living under? Because we're living under like a complete top.
I never shut up about it.
Right.
I never shut up about it. It pisses me off severely. I mean, like, I'm back at work for the first time since freaking February. All right. So I'm out of work essentially for about 9 months. I come back. This is normally the busiest time of year. I worked on what is normally the busiest day of the year for us,
The day before Thanksgiving.
$14 in tips the whole damn day.
Brutal.
Before I was making easily $200 a day. Easily. In like
you're talking about the day before Thanksgiving, right?
Black Friday, actually.
Black Friday
is actually statistically the best day.
Is that right? Yeah, because everybody gets hammered. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Crazy. I mean, and nobody has the, you're going to grab these hall monitors outside our representatives, our government officials. They haven't missed one paycheck. These people, everyone knows this. They're doing fine. All their 401ks are growing. They don't care. They really don't care.
And then they're freaking shutting down all these small businesses. 60% of businesses that had to shut down are not going to be able to reopen again. And then they've got the fucking gall to be, hey guys, it's Small Business Saturday. Go shop at all this.
Yeah.
Guys. Are you kidding me? You just shut them all down.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom or whatever. Yeah. It's so nonsense. They really, and going a few, I mean, maybe making a few moves quickly, but like they've really got us convinced that we are the contagion. And that's been their program for a long time. You are the disease, right? Your breath and your mouth and your dirty, nasty.
We're supposed to fear each other. We're supposed to be, what if they want to kill us? What if they want to steal from us? What if, my next door neighbor that seems so friendly is actually an axe murderer? What if they're, We need to have these people looking after us to keep us safe. And it's no different than now. It's just up the ante. Now everybody is exactly what you said. Everybody's a contagion.
Everyone is a vector of disease. Yeah.
Well, I think, and the thing is,
now everybody is a contagious psychopath.
It goes, exactly.
Here's the thing. I get all of that, but the language used to describe that is all wrong. It's all wrong. The highlight should be the hypocrisy of what they're doing and what they claim to want to fight for equity
doing.
and equality, when what they're actually implementing is the exact opposite. They're creating a system of inequality. They're saying these human beings can do this for reason X, but these human beings over here can't do the exact same action as A because of different reasons. So you've got two people standing in front of you. You've got A and B, and the government is saying it is okay, but both A and B's actions are the exact same thing. Identical actions. But the government is saying we're going to treat A more equally than B, despite for reasons, out of the control of A and B.
Right.
And what they're saying is we want to treat this minority of people over here.
Oh, sure.
Not equal from this group of people. It's like, well, hang on a minute. You've been spouting off for years that you want equality. You want everybody to be treated equally. And, in the eyes of the government or law or whatever. And here you are doing something.
That's all it is.
And that's what I think the argument should be, because you're arguing from a moral and ethical point of view instead of a good and forget the wrong, forget wrong or, forget the wrong or the right argument, because we know the media flipped that upside down and what's evil and what's good, because that's been flipped upside down. Go with moral and ethical. Arguing from a moral and ethical point of view works better than a right or wrong.
You got to cover all bases, and you got to do moral and ethical as well as just logical, as well as anything else. You have to say in all angles, because you don't know what's going to speak to everybody.
Yeah, saying what this group of people over here is doing is evil. People will switch off because you're using an emotive.
Let's use an example right now, right? Mm-hmm. So we have these situations where they're telling us not to gather in our own homes for Thanksgiving. And let's imagine, just hypothetically, a scenario where the president is brought into a second term, right? Let's imagine a scenario where I'm not saying, oh, I love this, but let's imagine the courts, blah blah blah. The courts decide, okay, he actually won, blah, blah, blah. There'll be riots. It'll go on for months, and those will not be treated the same, or they won't be given the same treatment as you and your family in a house.
Right. Did you see that? There was this meme that went around, this woman standing there outside her house, and there's cops, and they ask her, "You having Thanksgiving dinner there?" And she says, "No, we're organizing a riot." And he goes, "Oh, okay, then you're fine."
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? Yeah. No, it's totally insane. I mean, I'm in downtown St. Paul right now, Minnesota, and we've got a tent city right over here, and nobody's doing anything. They put some porta potties over there. I mean, that's a health hazard right there. And
right.
God bless those people. I don't know. There's nothing to be done. It's so insane. Yeah, and
we don't have very much going on here. Arizona's been fairly quiet overall.
Oh, you're in Arizona.
I guess Phoenix got a little rowdy for a little bit as far as the protests and everything go, but nothing really severe. Tucson had hardly anything. I think the worst that happened is like an abandoned brewery or something got a little bit vandalized, like a window smashed and like a little bit of spray paint, and then one guy like spit on a cop's shoe, and another one like poured a water bottle on another cop's shoe.
We're at ground zero here, and it's complicated. Minneapolis, like when I think about the Minneapolis Police Department, I have a lot of feelings that are like, obviously I'm a white guy, right? Straight white guy. They've never had a good reputation. Never.
Right. And especially now.
A lot of people, perception that what they perceive, their perception is their reality.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
if a police department, whether they are or whether they are not, if they are perceived as being, ineffective and ineffectual,
of course,
that will then, by default become
right, and then it becomes this vicious loop.
The reality.
Yeah, of course.
You've got. I mean, the acknowledgement is there that it might not be. That they could probably argue with economics and policy and law and legal terms that what they're
Sure.
doing is perfectly rational. It's like, yeah, but that's bollocks. People
I can't-
perceive you as being bad, and that is their reality. And
I'm trying to
that's
imagine
unfortunate.
right now in this world that we inhabit, signing up to be part of the Minneapolis Police Department. You're 20 years old and you're strong and you're hardy and this is what you sign up to do. There's so much going on over here that people don't really want to have the conversation. They want to. What ends up happening is that the media dip in and dip out, and you've got. So wait until these officers are exonerated. Just wait. And I'm not saying, oh God, I hope they're exonerated. I'm saying wait until they're exonerated. Then suddenly we'll be at the heart of the news again, and then everything will go away, and we'll be in a Biden administration, and then we'll be busy in Libya or whatever they care about over there, and then they'll dip back in over here, and we'll continue to send aid to other countries. Meanwhile, Lake Street over here, like right over here, looks like a third. It looks like a war zone
right now. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
right now. War zone. I can drive, and it's just a burned out. It looks like what you see when they show you footage from the Middle East. Oh, yeah, no, this is what a terrible dictator. It's like, who's the dictator over here? There's some disconnect. And I've lived this my entire life. I grew up in North Dakota. I moved here. This to me was the big city. So to see, and then I've lived around, but to see this go the direction it's gone, and there's no leadership, there's nobody doing anything. It's tent cities.
What
You
are
want to
the
talk about the red
I mean,
pill? Here's the red pill.
they've been legislating the crap out of that there. What is it? Is there anything specific, any specific policy that they implemented that made that made it so difficult for people to live like regular lives in that location you're talking about? Is there anything?
I don't know
is there
about
anything
legislation.
specific?
It's more geopolitical. It's more about the location of where these cities are. This is where if you look at
so the policy's been dictated by a very specific political ideology. Is it like a Democrat-run area or?
Yeah.
Republican?
Oh yeah. It's super blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Extraordinarily.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So just kind of like getting the
no,
feel for this location that you're talking about. that's
Sure.
all.
Yeah. It's super blue. I mean, and they're proud of that. They're very blue. I mean, that's just it. Oh my God. I mean, this would take a long time to unpack. But I mean, have you seen the movie Fargo?
Yes.
Yeah. These are people. We talk about the wood chipper, right? These are people out here who they'll just go along until like murder comes at them.
Mhm.
How to explain this? So one of the things about the current situation to sort of de-racialize it is important. Like it's, because there's this thing where you go like, oh, it's all these people from Chicago and blah, blah, blah. And it makes this like kind of racist. 100 years ago, you could actually look up, St. Paul mobsters. Just Google St. Paul history of the mob. This is where the mob hit out 100 years ago. So they would come from Chicago when shit got hot in Chicago. They would come up here, right, and hide out. And it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed, right? So you're still dealing with like when it gets bad, people come up here. I mean, and then everybody up here is like, oh, okay, well, everything's nice, and we're just trying to keep it nice. And finally, Helter Skelter has come to the place. I hope I'm making sense. It's if the full blown Charlie Manson race war kicked off in Minneapolis, I would not be surprised. It's the edge of the world. Minneapolis is as far west as you can go and still be in the east. It's this nowhere. It's this strange. It's like a hotel room.
Was it like a bubble? Is it an ideological bubble in the state?
Oh, sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, you drive 30 minutes any direction and you're in Trump country, for sure.
Oh wow! So it is literally a bubble ideology in a state, and it's got a barrier. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
right,
there are only like 5.5 million people in Minnesota. So you have the Twin Cities, Duluth, Rochester, and then kind of the Fargo area. But other than that, it's all the country. They're all Trump people. And there's
so what's
always
the
this
population density like in that? Because if it's a bubble in a state, then it must be like a ridiculously densely populated area.
No, I mean it's sort of spread out. It's a strange thing. If you got to come visit. I'm painting it like it's a terrible thing. It's not that bad.
No. I'm just trying. You live there, so you experience what it's like. In Minnesota.
I love it. I love the Twin Cities. I just am like, it's strange to me. So I go to London, for example, to see a friend of mine, and this was a few years ago. And there was a police shooting a few years ago, Philando Castile, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm in London with my friend, and I wake up and she goes, "Oh, there was a shooting in the Twin Cities." I go, "Oh, interesting. Okay, where?" And she goes, "Here." And I go, "Oh yeah, I know right where that is." It's not abstract to me. Like I go out and I live in the rest of the world. For some reason, these cities are like a crucible of whatever this is, whatever this problem is.
Arizona kind of has that to an extent too, let's see. I believe Daniel Shaver was in Mesa. There we had this one kid, I can't think of his name, but we had this one kid who was a quadruple amputee, 15 years old, and I guess he got a little mouthy with a cop. But I mean, again, he had no limbs. What the hell's he gonna do? And they 15 tackled him, tased him, and beat the shit out of him. It's like, literally, what threat could he possibly be like? He had no legs. He had no arms. 15 years old. What was he going to do? So, I mean, we have there are other things. I think there was a woman who was like searched on a highway, and I mean, he full on cavity searched her over fake marijuana claims and everything, like at, balls at AM in the morning when no one's around. I mean, we've got a lot of that here. Police are everywhere. It's insane. Like anybody that comes down to visit, they go, "Why do you guys have so many cops?" They'll see like, a simple shoplifting thing at a gas station, and there'll be like 5 cop cars for this one little petty shoplifting.
Right.
I mean, it's really bad out
everything that everyone on the Dumb Bird website is antsy about, right? Oh God, there's gonna be a social credit score. Oh God, it's gonna be a police. It's all here. Yeah. You're just noticing what's already here. The social credit score is, can you get cash out of the ATM? Can you get credit? It's not that difficult. There is no society, like there is no American society. This is as close as we're going to get right now. I can't even, we couldn't even go to Canada if we wanted to. Right. I mean, I know that sounds dark, but I mean,
I guess we have similar stuff. I think we're just kind of two sides of the same coin in that situation down here, because people talk about immigration, they talk about ICE, they talk about cartel sex trafficking. Well, we need we need stronger ICE. No, we don't, because kids in cage. That's all here. It's 2 hours away. I'm 2 hours from Mexico at best. Yeah. It's all here.
Where it's
I mean, and here, I kind of add a little bit. Obviously, that's a lot of doom and that is a lot of doom and gloom. Now
you're the one who was talking about like Animal Farm earlier. I mean, some animals are more equal than others.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about I'm not complaining about the subject material. It's wonderful conversation. I'm just saying, to normies don't see any of that. Normies aren't acknowledging any of that right now, because a lot of normies are just worried about working, food table, keeping a roof over their heads and stuff. That is what a large swathe of normies are thinking about right now. So they're not thinking about why it's happening or the particular reasons why it's happening. To a lot of people, their primary concern is, I don't give a fuck about the reasons right now.
Wear the mask.
I just don't give a shit about the fucking reasons right now. I'm worried. They're worried about not being, because they're being told, they're locked in their door, locked inside their house.
I'm worried too.
Sorry, not locked, confined. Through legislation, through laws, through regulations, through
most of this stuff. By the way, they haven't passed laws. Most of it is just, these are advisements.
Yes.
You're being, there's no law.
But if you get a strong blue population who are more than happy to uphold that law,
right?
then
it's not been legislated.
It's the law of the
widely.
land.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not been legislated.
You're not walking right. They haven't passed laws. That's
Right.
that's
Like
that's an interesting thing to think about.
Here it's a little wonky because we are so split. You know, Arizona used to be such a red state, but it's
Right.
going
You've got
more
all
and more
the
blue.
snowbirds and everything. Yeah.
Oh, well, not just that, but it's very much a college town. So we get.
What I beg your pardon. What city are you in?
I live just outside of Tucson.
Oh, Tucson.
So we've got the University of Arizona, which is a very major science, like we have some of the biggest like main telescopes and space exploration projects and everything in the world here. So we get a lot of college kids who want to get involved in that and all, and they're all here. And so it's very, very split. And, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, you know, like with the whole mask things and all here it is still mandated. You're supposed to wear them in public. With that said, you know, if I have to wear it at work, okay, fine, I'll wear it at work. I have to wear it at the gym. Okay, fine, I'll wear it at the gym. Out in public, I'm not wearing one. And I mean, just a couple of days ago, I was out with a buddy of mine, and I mean, we were just kind of wandering town on foot, you know, because it was late at night, nothing else really to do. So we're just walking around, hanging out. And so many people around my age wearing masks, and they're walking alone. No one is anywhere near them.
In the
car.
Outside. Yeah.
I'm like, and they're all wearing masks. And I'm sitting, and I'm not. Like hell if I am. And so, you know, I mean, when I go to the gym and I walk over to work about a mile and a half, I don't wear my fucking mask. And I'm in, you know, I know so many people who have had people call them out. Oh my God, you aren't wearing a mask. I'm just like, say something, go ahead. I don't know. Maybe it's the freaking resting bitch face, but nobody has said anything to me so far. Like I have avoided all contact. I have seen other people in conflict in front of me, and no one has said anything to me. So I'm sitting here like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know. But and it's funny is that usually the people who I see don't wear one are the elderly. It's the elderly that aren't wearing them, and they'll come right up to me. Hey, how you doing?
They just want to,
Like, yeah, they don't care.
You're telling me that, so what this society has told me now is that if I'm 80 years old and I have a bad cough during one of these fake pandemics, they will take me, put me in a hospital, tell me that, you know, I can't leave and nobody can visit me.
Right.
These are, I on the Dumb Bird website, I occasionally come across people who are like, oh yeah, my grandfather who was in Korea, a veteran, died alone in the hospital because I go, are you a citizen?
Well, that's kind of, well, it's a loaded question.
I'm sorry. No,
no, that's fine. But I would legitimately argue that are you a citizen is a loaded question.
Of course it is. I mean, I'm trying to make a joke here.
Oh, no. Sorry. Harley should have told you that sometimes sarcasm.
Wow.
Some things just go over my head, and
Me
that's
too,
because of the cultural difference. Obviously,
right.
My English cultural background and your American. So sometimes, these. Sometimes the joke goes.
Are you married to an American?
No. My parents and my sister are here. I'm just going through the motions.
Oh, nice.
Of,
that's good.
Getting squared away myself.
I love England. I love the English. I love, despite my Catholic.
Irish
Catholic
there are
background.
so. I mean, Harley and I discover, new nuances. All the time when we're having conversations, don't we?
Yeah, I grew up in freaking wannabe ghetto ass California. So I have the whole obnoxious, angry German because my mother is half German, angry German, feisty Valley Girl thing going on, and then he's the polar opposite of that. So.
Yeah. The thing about England that's fun if you go as an American is that you think that you have this language in common, but it takes about 30 minutes and a few drinks to realize.
There's sometimes where he says something and I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
Like when he first started saying donkey's ears, I'm like, what the fuck is donkey's? Like I can figure it out, but I'm like, what the hell is that?
Sorry, what?
What?
Yeah, that. I'm like, okay, that's a new. I knew what it meant, in context, but I'm like, okay, it's a weird word. All right. You know,
I don't even know what it means, donkey's ears. I mean, I have no clue. But I don't know.
it's like, it's like he'll say it like, "Oh, I haven't done this in donkey's ears like in a long time." And
Oh,
like,
donkey's
I know what you
right.
mean, like,
That's the Cockney slang,
Well,
right? Where you do
no. It's just that I don't know. It's
it's long. It's a long time.
There are so many different regional colloquialisms in England, and you've got to remember that the geographic location is not entirely dissimilar to most of your states. So we're a country that geographically is the same size as one of your 50 states.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
Imagine. So you've got your
I've
colloquialisms
lived over there,
on a state level. So the
Right.
equivalent of a state would be a county in the and a county geographically is the same size as one of your cities. So you've just got to think about it in scale.
Right.
So England
asking
is
me
more
what-
densely populated, so the colloquialisms are different. So things like donkey's years, I haven't seen you in donkey's years. I haven't spoken to you in donkey's years. And it's donkey, plural S, years, not donkeys.
Donkey's
ears.
Okay,
It's
donkey's ears.
Donkey's years.
Okay, cool.
I know. I get people all the
donkeys.
time that ask me.
Donkeys. Yeah, it's just an expression. It's a
There's no expression, just an expression.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Harley one last night. She's she was tired. I know that she's been at work all day. And
meant.
What?
I knew what you meant.
Okay? All right, I'll give you that one. You knew what I meant on
There's
that.
sometimes you say stuff and I know what you mean. I'm just like,
So yeah, no,
I'm not that American. I mean, I am that American, but I'm not that American.
What?
Like,
Okay, so explain to me about the Newfies, Newcastle. What's the deal? Like, or is it the Geordies?
Geordies. Yes.
Yeah.
So
what is that?
So your regional
explain
areas.
that to me.
So Newcastle, you've got your Geordies and you've got your Geordie accents. Sunderland and Middlesbrough are more Teesside, which comes down to you're talking about Teessiders. You've got Yorkshire, Yorkshiremen, stuff like that. Manchester's got Mackhams. Liverpool has Scousers.
So a lot of it has to do with like class, right? It has to do with class. Like if you lift yourself, you all sort of end up sounding the same, right?
No, it's more it's not class, it's accent.
Okay.
See, someone in Newcastle that is working class will sound exactly the same as someone in middle class, upper middle class, and stuff.
Oh yeah,
they'll sound the same. So a lot of the regionality, a lot of it's accent. I mean, yes, you do get a lot of cultural, like you've got states over here that are just like one industry, coal. Or another industry,
right,
farming. We have the
sure.
exact same thing
Iowa.
in the UK. So we have counties where it's all about the coal and all about the mining, and counties where it's all about the farming. What
about the Welsh?
Oh, the Welsh are just lovely people, generally.
The Welsh. I mean, every
that's a country, not a region, though.
No, I understand that, but I mean, I'm just trying to understand.
Yes,
I love the Welsh.
And the Welsh is just an accent all to itself. Not to mention the fact that they regularly use Gaelic there as well. So Wales is a bilingual country.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that language is so intense. I mean, I don't even know, wouldn't even know where to begin. Llewellyn, right? Like my buddy.
It's a very unique. It's a very unique sounding language.
Yeah.
But you want to know. You want to know who cares whether it gets used or not? No, just the people that use it. It's like nobody.
Yeah.
You see hang on a moment, guys.
No, it's all right. Yeah, we have manic street preachers too. So this is a Liberty podcast. Harley, did you? I'm not going to date you. How old you are, but like, did you think that tyranny would come to America through the medical system? Because looking back,
Oh yeah, no, I don't think. I went through way too much shit with my tragic backstory. All right. Like, I've been in the people don't understand that here. Like, because they see how young I am. They go, oh, she's got to be new. It's like, no, guys, I wasn't saying anarchist until my early 20s, but I was on that path well before. So it's like, no, and that's all based on personal experience. And I've been screwed over by everything from medical industry to CPS workers and California judges and public school.
We're in Minnesota right now. We can't, I'm going to get off this podcast at some point, and we can't go to a bar or a restaurant. There's nowhere to go. I mean, we're just supposed to. Yeah, we're in this nice building downtown here. We're supposed to have a pool and this and that, and it's all closed, all gone.
Yeah. We're not too bad down here. Right now we're on voluntary curfew, so they're like, we want you to go home by 10. But my friends are like, nah.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah. I mean, my friends. I was living in Manhattan, and my friends left Manhattan. They went to Puerto Rico. And he's Venezuelan. That's all right. And she's an Aussie.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is totally different.
Yeah, but they're still kind of on lock. Like the beaches are closed.
Oh, really?
At 10, like there's this weird, like unless you're working out at it's so bizarre. All of this, your friend earlier was talking about like it's the arbitrariness that is the point. It's the cognitive dissonance that is the point. The point is it doesn't make sense. No. If it was rational, you could dismantle it.
Yeah, no,
you can only have bars open if you're serving food too. It's like
I was about to say, we understand that, but normies don't. I was at Goodwill the other day. I like to go thrifting. It's one of my things.
Looking for a job?
No, just stuff. I just like to go thrifting. I like Goodwill thrifting.
Yeah, I do too. No, I love it. Yeah, no,
So I get there and I'm looking. Get dropped off. I get out of the car, and I'm instantly hit by there's two people stood outside, and it's like, and they said, they're only letting a certain number of people in, at a time, and I'm thinking to myself, so what arbitrary number have they decided? It is not knowing what the conditions in the building are, whether it's got air. It doesn't matter. It's become irrelevant.
They're literally like beating a mattress, in the back.
And the couple that was stood in front of me, the couple that was stood in front of me, the gentleman said, "Yeah, but they've got to come up with some number, haven't they?" And at that point, I was like, I know that there's absolutely no point in engaging with you a conversation as to why what you just said is so wrong.
It's religious. I mean, really, literally just
because I would have been then straight with, so what justifies one number? Yeah. What makes one number so significantly important? Why not two numbers or three numbers or four or five? Why such, a random arbitrary number justifies X, Y, and Z? That's, now I can talk to you, friends. I can talk to you guys. We could talk to each other about this, but a normie's not going to see that.
No, fair enough.
And as much as people like to beat up on that, we can't blame. You can't blame normies for being normies. You can't. I mean, they're like kittens. They should be stroked.
No, it's really difficult for me because, like I was just telling you here, I've been in the game so early on that part of me is like, okay, I acknowledge that I went through way too much crap at an early age that most people haven't gone through, and so therefore it just clicked. At the same time, it's like, you know what? How many of you are older than me and have perfectly good access to this information? So it's kind of it's tough for me to balance that, because it's like, you should get this by now. It's all right in front of you. People are trying to share their stories with you. You're writing all these articles, linking you here and there. All these books are published now. All this information that was not available to me when I was a kid and starting to wake up from this. I figured it out myself.
The thing about all
these people, it's like, it's there.
If you're like I am, Harley, you probably had a moment where your food was separated from the trough of this stuff. You have to understand that, like, the people who work at CNN, and I'm not even talking about the faces you see, the people who work there, their entire life is predicated on their snout being in that trough, you probably at some point got out.
I remember the exact moment that it clicked.
Yeah.
I was 11 when it clicked, going like, because what happened was I was dodging visitations with my biological father. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
I wasn't legally allowed to stop seeing him. No matter how many times I begged and pleaded.
That's it. That's it.
They wouldn't let me. So when I was 11, I kept dodging. My mom was getting afraid because she's like, if I keep letting you dodge, I'm going to be breaking court violations. And
Right. So you're in this system your entire life.
Right. And so with me, it was like, these are literally strangers who have repeatedly lied about what I've said, are ignoring my claims, my tears, my cries for help. They're more focused on his rights as a parent over my safety. They don't care to learn the truth. So who are these absolute strangers who obviously they're more focused on upholding law than they are about my safety to dictate and say, this is what you need to do to stay safe. I mean, I was 11. I'm like, oh my God, who are these people to say anything? So then after that, that's when I went down the total rabbit hole, full on conspiracy theory studies and everything. So what the hell is out there? Like, I needed to know everything. It was like die hard, like Bush did 9/11, like 2 days after the event, like it was.
I like
bad.
that I like that you're like daddy issues.
Right?
That's where it starts. I mean, this whole system is this fake Freudian Austrian
on top of that,
psychopathic
my
system.
dad wanted to be a cop or a lawyer, whichever came first. He had multiple degrees in law and he was an active security guard. Basically, whatever came first was what he was going to go with. Okay. He was a diehard Republican. I was hearing all about freaking Bush voting and Al Gore saying this shit when I was like 7.
Bush did 9/11.
Yeah, I was hearing all that shit. So then as I got older, I'm like, wait a minute. And I started looking more. I'm like, none of this makes sense. This isn't. And so I fell down the rabbit hole quick.
We're recording. Listen to my play, moderationplay.com. It's a play that's been adapted to a podcast. This is germane. It's relevant if you this is about somebody who goes down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
I wonder if I could change. I wonder if I could.
Harley, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was awesome. You okay?
I get animated. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I'm sorry. I'm talking over you.
No. I was just wondering if I could change your mind on something. One of the things that we constantly go on about ourselves is the use of language. And how it's been misappropriated. Words have been appropriated to different things. Love is love is love. Did you know that? Did you learn? I paid $300 for a ticket to hear about Alexander Hamilton. And love is love. Did you know
I still haven't seen Hamilton. I have no desire to see it.
No. I want you to slow down. Love is love. Is love is love. Okay.
No,
you got that.
Thank you. I'll take that.
See, and then immediately signs a contract with Disney. Like love is love is love. Love is love is love. Anyway.
Nobody knows what love really means these days. Let's be real.
Of course.
It's such a hollow word now.
That's it. I mean, that's the whole point. The tautology of the thing becomes, there's no poetry anymore. I mean, like there's no, America has no art. Everything is just completely, there's no, I keep talking over you, but I apologize. But like we're, in society, there is no society. Like the three of us are doing more for like the social fabric of America right now than most people will today. There's no there. You're trying to get into a club that doesn't exist anymore. We talk about the social credit score, right? In China. Oh my God. It's literally just, do you have any money? I said this earlier. Do you have any money in your bank account? Do you have access to credit? That's your social credit score. That's all you get. Because there's that you can't go to church. All you can do is go to Walmart, go to Costco, go to Target Boutique, order from Amazon. What am I angling for here in this culture? There's seriously, next time you go on the Bird website, there's no there. When they start talking about society and American culture, it's over. Like we have to rebuild from bottom.
Nobody really knows what anything. They're just kind of. I don't know. Well, for one thing, I mean, like we've already kind of discussed, is how America's just so big. Every state is so different. Every part of this, and depending on how big your state is, California, Northern California is drastically different from Southern California, which is drastically different from, Mid California. And everyone's just, no one knows what we're doing. There's not really a culture anymore. There's not really, no one knows what anything means. Everyone's trying to figure everything out. Everyone is changing what definitions mean, or trying to nitpick and break it down to make it seem like something it's not. No one knows what the hell they're doing.
Right.
They really don't.
We're the adults, by the the way.
This is why I think the use of language from us is more important. And a lot of people keep saying, whenever someone uses the word fake, I encourage people to change that word for manufactured. Fake has an element of subjectivity to it, whereas something that is manufactured is a 100% cast iron objective argument for something. Now, when states pass laws, when they make legislation, when they create policy, that is manufacturing something that creates a reaction out of the people affected by that policy. So we can say that this is a manufactured. But I just think honey works better than vinegar, and if you're trying to convince people of an argument for effect, use just use more objective words. I wish more people would say, oh, that that's fake news, or that's fake, and that's fake, and it's like, look, I know that you could probably put together a very, very, very good argument, so use a more objective word to describe what you're saying is not good or is bad or should not be looked at. I really wish people, because words get co-opted by bloody everyone all the time, and everyone, this is a good word. It's like, so this group's co-opted it, and this group's co-opted it, and this group's co-opted it. So that one word now means all of those different groups' words. So we need to use language that no one owns. That's the easiest way to put it. We need to use words, and we need to use language that no one owns.
We look at words like I was saying not long ago, and this actually kind of pissed a lot of people off. And I'm sitting there like, guys, you're missing the point here. How people have already been saying how capitalism is, the word capitalism. It's, we have the dictionary definition, but for a great deal of people who don't like the word capitalism and are going, oh, capitalism is corporatism. Capitalism is this, and thanks to capitalism. Like, no, that's not what capitalism means by definition. But they don't want to hear that. They go, well, maybe that's what it used to mean, but that's not what it is anymore.
Exactly.
But they're doing the same thing with the word liberal. Yes. Everyone is saying, I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal. And
nobody is a liberal.
Yeah, everyone is using the word liberal to describe themselves, and it's like, back a while back, it kind of just meant more like left wing, somewhere left wing. Now libertarians are using it. Progressives, it's kind of split. Progressives will say, yeah, I'm a liberal, and others go, no, I'm not a liberal. It's like, you can't even agree on what the word means.
The word liberal has
the exact same like political beliefs and social beliefs, but one of you saying you're a liberal, the other one's not, because nobody can agree on what it means anymore. Meanwhile, we've got libertarians saying, yeah, I'm classical liberal. I am the old definition of liberal. And it's, so now we're throwing out this word everywhere, and it's not really doing anybody any good because nobody can agree on what it means anymore. We may have the dictionary definition, but didn't we also just have somebody literally switch the dictionary definition of racism? Didn't we literally just have that happen?
Right.
So what, are you telling me that's not going to happen? Like, dictionary doesn't mean jack shit anymore.
Right. A liberal in America is very different from a liberal in Switzerland. I mean, and we're getting at something that is very dear to me. It's like, I think we need new language. We need
actually, you know what? Speaking of like the word love, one of my closest friends, he's like, I hate how love is both so limited and so broad. We use the exact same word to, to say to our cat or a food as we would to our soulmate, and it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, it's the language. There's so much wrong. There's just so much wrong. Damn it. Okay.
No, what it is we don't have poets. We want for poets, and you can't have a nation. I mean, it's not a nation. It's not a country. It's an economic zone. So we're all, kind of married through, finance and money, right? So I can send you a PayPal and you can, but what is the American nation? All of the lip service they pay, it doesn't exist. So
Yeah,
there's
but
no,
we have poets though.
do we?
Yes, we do.
Not me.
You've got to think.
I'm not
What
the
you've got to
poet.
think. You've got to think where poets and where poems first came from. Poets came from a time without the internet, without TV, without everything that we have now. People's entertainment during the high time of the poet was when the only entertainment was for,
Of course,
the privileged,
Homer.
privileged
They
few
would
that could read.
recite. Yeah, of course.
And all I'm saying is that's what they were called poets, and they provided a service. So the 21st century equivalent is YouTube. It's Spotify. This is where the
Now
and
we
it may
have
not be
13-year-olds
a
who
poem.
think they're poets on Tumblr. That's
Yes.
what we have now.
Yeah, basically that's what we have. And what so it's not so much we don't have the poets. What we should be debating is the quality of the poetry from now until back then. So
we have podcasts.
This
is the decline. This is the fall of
Edward Burns, William Wordsworth. They were like the
David
A-list entertainer of their time period in their local geographic location. If their talent, if they'd existed now, would be PewDiePie on YouTube. Okay,
They'd be Joe Rogan.
Yeah, or Joe Rogan.
Podcasts. I love that it's the 20s again, and radio is back, baby.
Yeah, it's excellent. But
radio is. Yep.
So so I agree with you. When we say there's no poetry, it's like we've got it. We just have to decide on what's quality poetry.
It's just shit like wet ass pussy and stuff blaring everywhere.
Right.
Oh, for God's sakes!
It's very degrading. Everything is very degrading.
I was annoyed because I did not know. I'd been able to avoid that bubble. I was trying so hard to avoid that bubble, but I did not know what WAP stood
I'm terrible.
for.
I keep cracking WAP
Until the last 48 hours, I didn't know what WAP meant.
Oh,
I'd done
man.
such a good job of avoiding that bubble. And
No man is an island.
Don't want to know. Don't want to know. Don't want to know. Don't want to know. And I avoided it, and I avoided it, and I avoided it. And you're the second person that I've heard in the last.
This is why you don't podcast.
Like,
what we watched? What we watched last night.
I thought I dodged that bullet. I tried so hard to dodge that bullet.
I make jokes all the damn time. I'm surprised you didn't find out before. I don't know. I'm not quiet about it. Funny thing is, never actually heard the original in all its full. I've only heard covers.
I've never heard it.
I've never heard it. I've heard it.
I've only heard covers. That is it. I've never actually listened to the original.
It's like Johnny. You've only heard, yeah.
I heard the Richard Cheese one. Yes, there's a Richard Cheese. It's great. So that was actually the first one I heard. And then I don't know his last name, Leo something, and he's on YouTube and he does metal covers of stuff. That's the only other version I've heard of it. And I've never heard the original, but I make the jokes all the damn time.
Wow.
So I've just got to point out that the Zoom call has not ended. It's been going for an hour.
I love it.
I'm thinking, that Zoom.
So we're going to start the podcast
Zoom
now.
thought that this was such a a riveting conversation between three
I
individuals.
saw that. Yeah, I saw something
like,
say.
you know what? Don't cut them off. Don't cut them off. It's going. It's being sprinkled all over. The conversation is just so so we're just going to keep going until Zoom over there cuts me off because we've been going for an hour. But
who notices? I mean, this is my new society. This is where this is how I relate to people.
And this is why I want to do. I want to create a Discord server where it's just. I want to create a Discord server, where it's just content creators for the type of content that we create. Like I said, I know exactly how this. I mean, I've been in it for 2 years now. I've been in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes content creator community for nearly 2 years now. It's a wonderful, wonderful, friendly group of people because we're all very like-minded and we all go on each other's shows and we all collaborate and we all have random conversations about Star Wars in this game. And I just think that is something that perhaps we could do.
It's a good idea.
like, you know, the three of us sort of thing.
I met
and expand it out. So if you're a content creator and you're watching this or you're listening to this, okay, get your Discord handle in the comments, and once we have once we reach a certain number of people, then we'll create a Discord channel, but it will literally be just for content creators so that they can help with audio, video. That's one of the things that we
just
do.
Getting the word out and all.
Yeah, and the whole word of mouth thing. It'll work.
I love that idea.
And it's a lot of fun. It's
fantastic. Because you're literally at this point in social life, you're somebody who consumes, or you're somebody who makes.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I mean, anybody with a laptop, my 12-year-old daughter right now could start something. I don't want her to. Like stay away. But I mean, yeah, you have no excuses. Yeah. I love that idea. Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
I met Lawrence Kasdan. You were saying. No.
So go ahead.
In graduate school, the fellow who wrote Empire.
Oh right, Empire Strikes Back. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Very cool. Just a short guy, talking about writing Empire Strikes Back.
I have an original Laserdisc copy of that movie.
Wow.
I mean, I've got the green screen behind me.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say you can't see anything.
Yeah, amazing. Oh wow. Okay, all right, that's totally normal. Oh, nice. What's better than the Empire Strikes Back in terms of the aesthetic and the everything? It's like we have to go back to that time. I think that America can get back there. I think we can together. Yeah, I believe.
Well, I mean the whole the whole cultural war thing. Kind of getting back to it's more. I think going back is not what anybody because to go back.
No. Yeah,
I mean, you understand. We it's been going on for so long, and it's been going on for so many years now, and it's so annoying and bugging. It's like going back would mean having to go back through all of the same stuff.
No.
It needs to. All we need moving forward is a correction of sorts that's acceptable to more than just the 1% of the 1% on social media.
For sure.
I don't think that is an unreasonable request.
I don't. My thesis. My operating theory right now is that nothing has changed since the late 60s, and that it's finally changing. It's gonna have to. Where 100 years from now, they will not be 50 years from now, God willing, they will not be talking about World War II, as they make the legacy media. Every single last goddamn thing refers back to World War II.
Right. Yeah.
It's psychotic. Nobody cares.
I've seen people pick up on that. I've seen people asking why is that always their default? It's always go right back to World War II. Everything is World War II. Everything looks like World War II. Everything sounds like World War II. And it's like, how do you even know? You weren't even there.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that England has a different, relationship. It's psychotic. It's over, and then so you have this generation that was born in.
It's just fear mongering.
Oh yeah. It's just blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Nazi. Yeah, exactly. It's this complete mythology. I mean, it's absurd. And it's starting to fracture. I mean, you can see that the new generation is just not buying it, because why would you? It's hell on earth. I mean, nobody. Whatever. It's not even useful anymore. I mean, and then we have the youth culture of the 60s is what we still inhabit. Nothing has changed. Ulver, this band, Ulver, ULVER, a Norwegian band, incredible. They have a lyric on not their last album, but their second to last album, and they say nothing has changed since the late 60s. And that's where we are. We're still serial killers, and it's just this culture just eating itself and just over and over and over and over again. You were still watching. Has there been a better cinema than the cinema of the 70s in the U.S.? No. And we just keep eating it, and we just keep remaking movies and blah, blah, blah. I think that this decade is the decade where we finally reach escape velocity and we get out of that. We have to. It can't go on. We can't just keep eating. Yeah.
it's just been milked too much. Everything has been milked too dry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no there. I mean, this is tied to the idea of like one of my sayings is, you know, American liberalism is vaporware. They're not going to pay your bill. They're not going to look at you. There's nothing there. It's all just pure power. It's just, you know, so that's very red pilling. I like that in this world that we inhabit, like you can go so far left that you come around and you end up on this podcast, or you can go so far right. You just come back to this place where it's just 3 people talking online.
Right.
You know, it's
great though. I mean, you know, I don't know. I get a kick out of it all.
I love it. I mean, you know, I think that I'm holding forth, but I think that like we have to invent the future. We have to do it right now. I'm pushing 40 and I'm kind of looking around and waiting for someone to like give me permission to it's never coming. There's no there. You know, you have to be the person to.
I wouldn't say it's never going to happen. I wouldn't say it's never going to happen. I mean, most people could be pessimists, but everyone's entitled to be optimistic about a couple of things, even if they deep down truly are pessimistic about something. Sorry, Harley, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I think part of the problem here, especially like, you know, right now with a lot of the youth are kind of being, you know, more vocal, you know, because I mean, like, let's be real. We look at millennials and, you know, younger, and they tend to be the ones who are more tech savvy. Therefore, their opinions and whatnot kind of get blasted a little louder. They're just able to be heard more. But unfortunately, these are generations that are completely lost. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to adult. They barely know how to be themselves. They have largely been raised by TV, by radio, socialized by those who worship that. They were raised in public schools with other kids in the exact same situation, and then teachers who maybe kind of dilly-dallying that a little bit to try to seem like the cool teacher to connect with them. And so that's all. They're raised by pop culture. They're raised by social media. They aren't really taught how to be themselves. They are taught, this is what you should like. This is what you should do to fit in. These are the trends. This is what's popular. This is how you're going to be liked. This is how you're going to be heard. And so that is what they're clinging to. These things are what's popular. I don't know how to be myself, my genuine self, because unfortunately my genuine self is not popular. That's what gets harassed. That's what gets, you know, called the black sheep. That's the outcast. I don't want to be the outcast. So they're just kind of rehashing, you know, just whatever they've heard and been raised in over and over again, because simply that's just what they know. Yeah. That's all they know. They don't know how to be themselves. And it's tragic. It's honestly completely tragic. I mean, you know, I was always very much the black sheep, horribly so. I was freaking harassed by students, by teachers, just, you know, by everybody, and, you know, but I didn't really know how to fit in. I grew up in a very outcast religion. I grew up in a very outcast political, I mean, just everything was outcast. I didn't know how to fit in, but yeah.
Imagine wanting to fit into this, whatever this is.
I know, but that's only
I beg your pardon. No. I'm not poking fun at you, but that to me is so wonderful. It's like all the freaks right now are just looking, you know what I mean?
Do you know who I'm so envious of right now? Like I'm totally green with envy and so jealous right now, right this second. I am extremely jealous of, you know, those ultimate preppers. You know, those people that have prepped for, you know, they've got everything buried and built up in one area in the Montana hills or in, you know, Dakota or wherever there are hills, wherever they have got bunkers, and they're all looking. You know, I put money on it. I put money on it. Right. There are some of those guys are in their bunkers right now, oblivious to everything that's going on.
Those guys right now are getting laid.
Because right at the start of the pandemic, I bet these people were thinking, you know what?
Yeah.
We can go underground for 2 years. Right. This looks like it's going to be a pain in the ass. Should we just go down for 2 years?
So
we'll stick our heads back up. And
they're just gonna listen to all of Joe Rogan.
So the answer is start the underground city of the mole people finally. And we just kind of thrive underground until everyone else destroys themselves and we emerge probably blind because of lack of sunlight. But, you know, at least we're alive and we know how to survive, right?
It won't matter.
That's really a good way to start.
We will just navigate through the wasteland of North America by finding each other's podcasts. Like dolphins.
Like dolphins.
Or we could do it. We could do it a la Resident Evil style.
Oh,
with a great big container ship floating in international waters that all of the podcasters.
But wait, that still involves dolphins.
Yeah.
So the answer to everything is dolphins.
Yes. No, and you must ride from the coast to the ship on a dolphin.
I want my dolphin. Tell me no.
Yeah, you guys, I have to go. My friend Dwayne is coming, and he's a photographer, and we're gonna go and we're gonna photograph the cities right now. We're gonna go and get like footage of the tents and kind of try to get Lake Street. Cool. This is a lot of fun though.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this.
We should do it again sometime. If you hit anybody up, right, get my Discord to them, and I will create a Discord channel. And then we'll get invites and everything sent.
I would love to have the both of you come on my interview podcast too. So I'll send you a link.
Yeah,
cool,
we'll definitely check up a day and a time for that. Sure.
Awesome. This was a lot of fun, you guys.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Right.
Go ahead and plug yourself.
Pimp your stuff before you go.
Kevin Kautzman, Kautzman, moderationplay.com. I'm a playwright. I wrote a play. It's a podcast now, and Moderation Play. Find me on Twitter. I'm crazy on Twitter. They describe me as I'm heterodox. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Okay.
No.
Yeah. No. I'm not hammering the same nail over and over on Twitter. You never know what you're going to get.
There we go. Okay, that's good. I like that. Okay.
All right, I'm going to put on the wood chipper shirt, Harley. All right, y'all.
Well,
thanks for joining us.
Peace. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.